doing Bay Area throwbacks, and today I'm doing a challenge that's been going around in the the Jersey YouTube community. The first one I saw who was doing it in this recent string of them was Throwback King, so shout out to you. I also saw King Leonidas did one, Resurrection, Mighty Fan. Those are the ones I remember seeing. There might have been more. Sorry if I missed you. I'll put the links to all those in the description box. Now, so the Fab Five is basically it is favorite jersey, favorite pair of shoes, favorite hat, favorite collectible, and favorite jacket. I'm not as big of a collector as some of these guys with all these things, so some of those really wouldn't work that well for me. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to do a San Francisco Giants Fab Five because that's the team I have the most gear of. And my top five that I'm going to do for that is going to be favorite Giants jersey, favorite Giants clothing, favorite Giants hat, favorite Giants clothing item that's not a hat or a jersey, favorite Giants collectible, which would just be my favorite Giants bobblehead because I have a good amount, and then my favorite Giants like piece of memorabilia. So basically, I'm just gonna get straight in. So I'm gonna start with my favorite Giants hat that I own. And my favorite Giants hat is probably going to be underwhelming to a lot of people, but it's just the 1999 spring training hat. Really just the basic Giants hat that they have, except that it's that mesh material from the late 90s, early 2000s spring training batting practice hats that they used to wear. If I had the one with the G on it, that would be my one. This is a close second, which is the 2001-2002 alternate Friday night hats that they wore for those 2 seasons. But I've always loved the mesh. Like I said, the mesh hats from that time period when it comes to spring training and batting practice hats. So I was able to get this one, which they only wore in 1999. Original vintage. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why I love when I wear this one. I just feel like it pops a little bit more. Like I said, I like that mesh. It's nice when it's, the hot weather. So I'm just going to go with this. Like I said, if I can eventually get my hands on this same style, but with that G that they wore from 2000 to 2002 with this style hat, that would be it. But as of now, I don't have that. So this is going to be my favorite Giants hat that I own, with a honorary mention to this one as my number 2. Now I'm going to move on to my favorite Giants clothing item that is not a hat or jersey. And what I'm going to go with is my authentic on-field 2002 to 2004 dugout jacket. The Giants wore these jackets from 2002 to 2004. Got the American flag on the side. Got the Giants sign right here. It looks almost like the Friday night jerseys, road jerseys from 2001 and 2002. Batterman logo on the back. But yeah, I mean, something about those, any gear with the Giants from about 2001 to 2004, is really nostalgic for me. That's when I started becoming a sports fan, and Giants are my favorite sports team in general. That's my favorite sports franchise. So to be able to have the jacket that they're wearing, from after 2001, so for my second, third, and fourth year as a baseball fan, is super dope. I love the American flag right there. I like that, having that addition. You can also find these with the 2002 World Series patch. They did wear these in 2002 World Series. Yeah, but this, it just goes with pretty much any of my Giants gear. I can just throw it on. It's warm. It's warm. Yeah, I just said it's warm. It's warm. Got that nice inside. And yeah, it's just nostalgic. Naturally, just when something's nostalgic like this, especially with the Giants, I'm gonna like it a lot more. So back up a little bit and fits it perfect. So yeah, this would be my favorite clothing item with the Giants that's not a hat or a my favorite Giants collectible / bobblehead, because that's really what all my Giants collectibles are. I'm gonna have to go with my Willie McCovey bobblehead. You have his nickname Stretch in the back. I just like how he's stretching for the ball, first base, on first base. My Pablo Sandoval diving while chewing, popping a bubble is my second. It was kind of a hard choice between these two, but I think I'll go with this one. I did get this one at the stadium at a game I went to, so as a giveaway. So it's also, you know, not something that I just found somewhere. I was at the game where they gave these out, and I got it. So I would have to say this Willie McCovey bobblehead would have to be my favorite. If I was to get a Bonds or a Mays, that would probably take that spot. But until then, I will say this would be my favorite Giants collectible bobblehead that I got. So as for my favorite piece of San Francisco Giants memorabilia, it was hard. Kind of my second place was my 1952 New York Giants program from an actual game at the Polo Grounds. So that was there, but you know, as dope as that is and rare and it's in good condition and it's 70 years old, I'll say this one probably means a little bit more to me just in the sense of nostalgia. You know, like I said, those Giants teams of 2001, 2, 3, those first few years, you know, that's kind of brings back the most memories and has a certain feeling just because that's when I started, you know, being into sports. Like I said, Giants are my favorite sports franchise, so it definitely brings a different nostalgic feeling. So what I went with was my 2002 San Francisco Giants yearbook. I don't have a 2001. I have a 2000, a 2002, and a 2003. If I had a 2001, that would probably be number one because that was my first year as a sports and as a Giants fan. But don't have that one, but I do have the 2002, which I got. I'm sure I got it directly from stadium when I was a kid. I know my mom, she used to take us to, you know, we used to go to a lot of games as a kid, and I'm pretty sure she had bought this for me. I asked her and she got it for me. You know, it says it was $10, so I don't know how much they cost nowadays at the stadium, but this was $10 in 2002 or 2003 whenever I bought it. But this is the 2002. Giants did go to the World Series that year. Fortunately lost. That was my first real sense, I feel like, of heartbreak when it came to sports. I was watching them lose that World Series to the Anaheim Angels, now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and that stupid rally monkey. But anyways, you know, this was the year after Bonds broke the single season home run record. He had 73 home runs the year before this. He went off this year as well. You got a lot of the guys that I grew up being fans of. Jeff Kent. You got Rob Nen. His last season was this year. Rich Aurelia, JT Snow, Shinjo. Some of you guys might remember him, but like especially Bonds and these four right here were, you know, some of the guys I really, you know, watched growing up, along with Jason Schmidt, who's in this yearbook. Like, who else is in here? We got Chad Zerbe. I remember him. Tim Worrell, Jay Watasic, Jason Schmidt, dope pitcher. That was someone I grew up watching. Yorvit Torrealba. I mean, this Benito Santiago was dope. I mean, this is just a team full of guys that I grew up. Reggie Sanders, Kurt Reeder, Felix Rodriguez, like all these names. Russ Ortiz are all players that I, you know, really identified with in the sense of, you know, that was the first team I was watching as a kid. I feel like every, you know, sports fan, you're gonna be, I guess, have a special, you know, place for that first team of, you know, that you remember watching. Damon Minor, I mean, all these guys, Ramon Martinez, Jeff Kent, who else? Ryan Jensen, like these are all guys I remember. Levon Hernandez, I remember watching, having cards of. Tom Goodwin, Aaron Fultz. Aaron Fultz's son actually played on my brother's little league team. Pedro Feliz, like these are all guys that I remember watching, that I played games with on, you know, whatever video games were out at the time. Cards of Sean Dustin, Jason Christian, like all these, I remember all these. I could look at a yearbook from 2013 or 15 or 09 and see some of the names and not remember them. But like with this, every single one of these names, Marvin Menard, Dave Bell, I know. These are all guys, Kurt Ainsworth, these are all people that I, you know, identified with. So I'm gonna go with this, my 2002 Giants yearbook. And now I'm gonna go to the last thing, the most important one to me, which is my favorite Giants. So I feel like my favorite Giants jersey is gonna be a surprise. I mean, I got a lot of Giants jerseys. That's the team I have the most jerseys of. And this one, I mean, I definitely have ones that probably, you know, got more style or got more, I don't know what you want to call it, but that may be more appealing to the eyes. But this one, nostalgically, the fact that I've wanted this jersey for a long time, this style, and that I got a game used one, makes it where this would be my favorite one. Even though it is a black Giants jersey and this one probably actually looks better, I still will go with this one that I'm about to show over this one and any other jersey I got. And that's going to be my game used 2001 Calvin Murray jersey. Once again, pretty random because it's like, really, I got Barry Bonds jerseys, Will Clark, Rod Beck, I got, Orlando Cepeda, but I'm going to have to go with this one because as a kid, they only wore these jerseys for 1 year, 2001. This was their Friday night home jerseys, alternate home jerseys. So they only wore these Friday night when they played at home in 2001. That was the year Barry Bonds broke the single-season home run record. He actually broke the record. They were wearing these jerseys the night he broke the record. And it was after 9/11 when they added this patch. That's another reason I love this jersey, is that they have the 9/11 American flag patch that all the teams wore after 9/11. For the rest of that season, they only wore this jersey a few times after Bonds, or after 9/11. Bonds broke the record after 9/11, which means that there's a very good possibility that this specific jersey I'm holding, this literal one, was on the field, worn by a teammate of Barry Bonds the day he broke the single-season home run record. Can't really prove it, but it's, at that time I don't think they were going through that many jerseys, so it's a very good chance that this was there. The number 8, I like that number. It's a good number. It looks good. Got the flag. Like I said, I've always wanted this jersey, and to get a game used one is pretty dope. Like I said, just nostalgic. I always loved these black jerseys as a kid. I love black jerseys in general, and I think a lot of that started with this jersey as a kid. Just watching the Giants on those Friday nights, it just looked different. I liked it a lot, and like I said, just to have a game used one in my collection, no matter who the player was, is, pretty insane to me. So I definitely love this jersey. I just love the black with the orange and gold outlines. So I definitely would have to say that my favorite, my top Giants jersey that I own, that in the sense of how it looks, nostalgia, what it means to me, would have to be this 2001 game used alternate Friday night Calvin Murray jersey. So that's going to be my top 5. It's a little bit different than everyone else's, but, my collection is a little bit different than everybody else's. So shout out to Throwback King for, throwing that video out there and getting this going. Shout out to King Leonidas for doing one. Rez, Mighty Fan. They're all dope. If I missed you, my bad. I'm going to put all those in the description, all their links for the 4 that I saw. Make sure to like and subscribe to all of them. Watch their videos. They got super dope top 5s and a little more variety than mine. But, mine's going to be all Giants for this one. And on that note, I'm going to get out of here and actually start watching the Giants game because it's about probably the 3rd or 4th inning by now. So everyone have a good day. I'll see you all next time. Peace.